Good morning. Today is Tuesday, the 26th of May, 2020. It's wonderful that you're able to this morning. This week, Kate, Karen, and I are sharing a poem that inspires us and brings us some hope beyond this endless cycle of negative news we receive every day. It feels like a bit of bombardment of negativity, and reading poems brings back more of an essence of reflecting on the things that are important to us. And I feel that good poetry does not shy away from the hard things in life, but neither does it turn away from beauty and hope. So how do we hold these two in balance? The hope and the despairing. How do we manage to reconcile the two in this world? On Sunday, in the after-service coffee hour, during Zoom, of course, we had an interesting conversation. And it turned to Rix and her wee Dietrich, a black bird who has been loved and cared and nursed back to health. He was found in terrible condition, just a few days old. Rix, as his carer, updates us almost daily with photos and videos of his progress. He's now a regular feature on my Facebook feed, and I delight in his healing and his playful curiosity and everything around him. We reflected on that it will be soon time for him to be set free. And we chatted about the complex feelings around caring for something so vulnerable and precious, knowing that our time with them is limited. Rix has been raising Dietrich to health, ultimately, so he can live on his own in the wild. But this is also scary to think about, and I'll best let Rix describe these feelings in her own words from yesterday. When he leaves us to continue his life as a proud blackbird, Dietrich will leave also fear and sorrow behind. I will fear for his safety and well-being. Nature is a dangerous place when it has been touched by us humans. Cats roaming freely, fertilizer and weed control killing insects and animals. Cars, buildings being built, traffic noise, and air pollution. I'm so scared for Dietrich's life, but I must release him. His needs come first. He needs trees to hide, soil, excuse me. I've had a wee visitor. Yeah, well, just a moment, sweetie. Dietrich's needs come first. He needs trees to hide, soil to disturb, worms to hunt, and most importantly, he needs mates. So all I can do is pray for him and hope that others will join me. Please, God, Rix says, please bless this tiny soul and keep it safe and healthy. In comforting Rix during this conversation on Sunday, we also remembered Jesus' words from the Gospel of Matthew, in which Jesus tells us that God cares for all of God's creation. God feeds the birds and makes the flowers grow and clothes the grass in the field. Although Jesus tells us to not worry too much about our own lives, he also acknowledges that life is hard. And although it's a challenge to not worry, we should seek God first in all that we do. Jesus says in the Gospel of Matthew, "Therefore, do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day has enough trouble of its own. Deal with your worries one day at a time." Life is fragile. We may know this more now than ever, but we are also learning again that we are strong, and our Christian faith teaches us that we are stronger together when we care for one another. And now to the poem. All this talk about the birds and nature and God's creation reminds me of one of my favorite poets, Mary Oliver. Her poems always help me slow down and point to the presence of God in the natural world. It's called Wild Geese. You do not have to be good. You do not have to walk on your knees for 100 miles through the desert repenting. You only have to let the soft animal of your body love what it loves. Tell me about despair, yours, and I will tell you mine. Meanwhile, the world goes on. Meanwhile, the sun and the clear pebbles of the rain are moving across the landscapes, over the prairies and the deep trees, the mountains and the rivers. Meanwhile, the wild geese, high in the clean blue air, are heading home again. Whoever you are, no matter how lonely, the world offers itself to your imagination, calls to you like the wild geese, harsh and exciting, over and over announcing your place in the family of things. God feeds the birds and grows the flowers and dresses the grass of the field. We can find comfort in God's presence and caring for us as we face our worries, while also turning towards imagination and hope, one day at a time. Be gentle with yourselves and others, and may the peace of Christ be with you today and every day. Amen.